An executive decision has been made. I am very tired, so I'm going to combine my September-ary sleep is hard. I'm going to combine my September wrap-up and my October TBR into one glorious creation. Welcome to the September wrap-up of this show. What have I finished so far? Well, if we refer to the great battle bracket of death bracket, Grisha was last month, and I now just finished This Pen Sucks, V.E. Schwab. But Victoria is not the only author I read this month. I also picked up 2 books from the library. I was about to say 3 because I did read, I was about to call it Florence and the Machine again, Daisy Jones and the Six. But that was like on the cusp of August and September. So I included that in my August wrap up. I have a whole review for that. Go watch it. But for September, my kind library supplied me with Recursion by Blake Crouch and My Lovely Wife by I Don't Know. My Lovely Wife is a thriller if the cover doesn't tell you that already. It's a lady with a knife. And subtly reflected in the knife's blade is the silhouette of her husband looking on like, what did I get myself into? My Lovely Wife, I rated 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's a fast, likable character read about what happens when 2 sociopaths get together, get married, have kids, and then get bored. How do you spend your free time? You go on a murderous rampage, killing all those hot mamas for nothing but your pleasure. It was pretty good. We are living through the perspective of our nameless protagonist, which is only the second time I ever read a book that's done this, not given the main character a name. The first one being Rebecca. The characters were so twistedly, undeniably evil, but yet likable. Their kids were messed up too. Apparently crazy is hereditary. Don't play that clip. I'm the editor. You don't tell me what to do. Gotta stay awake. And while this book is about how to get away with the perfect murder, my only 2 complaints are that we never actually see these murders. The wife handles all the dirty stuff, and the husband just collects the women that he delivers to his wife to torture and then kill. So while she's off torturing her victims with paper cuts and burning oil, he's out just giving tennis lessons to people, and since we're in his perspective, we're just seeing him live his best dad life. And also, I can't tell you what this character did because spoilers, but our main guy character, he does a lot of things that are very out of his character, and the plot hinges on this thing. And I just know, like, if he was a real person, he would not do this because of his established personality. So yeah, 3.5, still highly enjoyable, but it is a slow burn. The writing style is very simple to get through. Nothing is overly descriptive, unlike a certain book I'm reading right now. But on to Recursion by Blake Crouch. I have not read Dark Matter yet, but I'm certainly going to give it a go. But Recursion was like a mind twister of a book. Probably 4 stars. It was able to take one of my least favorite tropes and make it into something I actually enjoyed, and that was interesting. I can't tell you what that trope is because it's a spoiler. I wasn't expecting it to pop up. Recursion is about a world where your memories are at stake. False memory syndrome, sort of like the Mandela effect, is like almost an epidemic at this point. People are waking up with a wicked headache, usually a bloody nose, with memories of a life they never had, and they wake up into a more sucky life. This usually ends in them ending their own lives. We alternate between oh man, I can't remember their names, which you'll see why. While like the story itself and what was happening was very, very interesting and was so fast-paced that I loved, the characters themselves weren't nothing special. Like, one moment of their past, like, oh, this police detective, his daughter died tragically. Oh, this lady scientist, her mother has Alzheimer's. How do you say it? Alzheimer's. A degenerative... She's forgetting stuff. Her mother, who is elderly, is forgetting stuff. So the scientist lady is working on a way to preserve memories in people. These are the only traits of our main characters. Everything else is basically click and paste, which I sort of understand. Everything is happening so fast, you don't really have time for a character arc or development. The love done in this book, the romance, not done great at all. I didn't believe that any of these characters really loved each other. But if you're not a character-driven reader and you just want basically an apocalyptic tale with high stakes, this is a really good book. And now, for what I know you've been waiting for. How did I feel about Victoria E. Schwab. Pretty good. There you go. Although, I will admit, and I'm probably going to have to update the worst things I've ever done to a book video. I dropped a heaping splat of hummus on A Gathering of Shadows. Am I the only one who feels the urgent need to buy a new copy when you drop hummus on your book? Okay, I read the villain duology first, Vicious and Vengeful. I'm going to make an in-depth video, just like I'm making an in-depth video for the Grishaverse. It's coming. I had to get my costume. But do not ask me which of these two series, Darker Shade of Magic, villains, do I like better. I can't decide. Wait. No, I can't decide. Villains is the tale of Victor Vale and Eli Ever, who live in a world where EOs, extraordinary people, are superheroes. Not really superheroes. They have superpowers, but you want to keep it on the down low because they will hunt you, most likely experiment on you, and you'll wish you're dead. Eli and Victor, however, are interested in creating their own EOs, and they're like, let's experiment on ourselves. Oh, what is the common denominator for all these EOs? A near-death experience? Well, okay. You grab the pills, I'll grab the ice. Let's try. So through a series of experiments, something goes horribly, horribly wrong, and a beautiful hatred is born. What I really love about Victoria Schwab, V.E. Schwab, she makes the grayest characters, and I love them all, basically. They are flawed and beautiful and perfect. Very few complaints about Vicious, the first book. 4.5. The only tiny thing is it is a book mostly of backstory, which I will never hate, and what's the word? Oh, just like planning revenge. You get to the revenge, but you gotta plan a lot and a lot and a lot. So we're just waiting for that moment, but you have to wait a little bit longer than most people would like. And this raises an interesting question. Does the time a book is released affect its rating? Because Vicious was published in 2013. Vengeful, the sequel, was published in 2018. 5 years, people. 5 years. If I had read this right when it came out, I would have given it a much lower rating because you can't have an open ending like that. I hate open endings. I will be mad and drop my rating for an open ending. That's another thing. Two things I don't like about Victoria Schwab. Her endings, too open-ended, and also, I'll save this for A Darker Shade of Magic. When I want to remember something, I scratch my hand, and I just say the word over and over again. That way I can, remember the feel and the word assigned to it. Now, Vengeful. Very good, too. But I enjoyed it probably more than the first book. But I have to drop my rating to a 4 because there is one character in this series who I do not hate, but he or she really lessens the stakes throughout the series. I'm gonna put a spoiler thing right here. Okay, be gone or mute, cover your ears. Okay, Sydney, we know Sydney. We know that she has the ability to resurrect people, and because she can resurrect people, whenever someone dies, I'm never worried because she'll just bring them back. And because, this is a spoiler, Eli dies, and also, was his name Dom? I don't know, but that military guy, he was nice. I liked him. The guy who can travel through shadows or the netherworld or whatever it was. They both died, and I was like, oh, he'll be back. Sydney will bring him back. She never did. When I get to the end of the book, I'm like, wait, Eli's dead. I liked him. As I was talking about with open endings, my definition of an open ending varies a lot. Basically, if something is not resolved, or one character is still running amok and we get no resolution about what they're doing, I consider that open-ended. And I'm not satisfied. That's sort of how this ends. Also, I do believe, and this is to the detriment of this book, Vengeful, actually the series, that this was originally going to be a trilogy, but V.E. Schwab's like, oh, I'm just gonna make a duology, cram a few things from the third book into the second book, and that'll be it. And the things that she crammed into this book were very, very cool. We had this mad doctor guy, and he was creepy. Oh, what he did to Eli, man. Crack. But because it was all these little new plot points that popped up was shoved in there, we got interested in them and we wanted more. It's we're going up a little hill, but then suddenly it ends because we have to finish the book and there's not going to be a third. And I just don't think all these plot points were given their due. Do something. They deserved more than just the end. Vicious and Vengeful, overall, 4 stars. Very good. Please go read it. And tell me if you are on Team Victor or Team Eli. I'm actually kind of mad at Victor, because he killed one person who totally didn't deserve to die. And A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. There was very, very little chance of this book disappointing me. It had everything I love in it. All my favorite tropes, all the favorite cliches. So good. Just to name a few of them. Magic, siblings, angry demons, possession, a plummeting fall into darkness, a broody character, a snarky character. What this series is about, at least the first book mostly, there are multiple Londons, 4 of them. Black London, which fell a long time ago. We don't really know how it fell. Well, I know because I finished the series, but y'all don't know if you haven't read. And I'm not going to tell you because it's kind of awesome how it fell. White London, where its magic is draining away. It's a dying world and everybody there is like barbaric, hunting down any sort of magic in any magician's veins and spilling it and bathing in it, trying to absorb it for their own. Then we have Grey London, which is like our world. The boring world where nothing cool happens magically. Then we have Red London, which is like the best place to be, the magical, lively London. Kel is an Antari. He is a magician with a cool, like, all black eye, but only one of them. And he is able to travel to all 3 of these Londons. He can't go to Black London because those doors were sealed. But what happens one day when he comes across a relic from Black London? Crap happens. And it's up to him and this funky street thief Lila, he and Lila have to return this stone to whence it came, or else many people will die, and some may not escape unscathed with their soul and their sanity intact. Super cool. The second book, it's basically a tournament. So if you like tournaments, come forth all. The third one, let me reverse that. 5 stars. 4.5, not really sure. I enjoyed this book, but there are some things. So let's just say a tenuous 4 right now, buddy. As I was saying before, the final thing I do not think V.E. Schwab does well, and I say this after reading The Near Witch, Monsters of Verity, and Darker Shade of Magic, I don't think she handles romance as well, because she is great with characters. Super phenomenal. However, just because so-and-so get along really great, and I already ship them, I don't understand how they love each other. Like, I get that they like kissing each other, but I've seen no evidence that they actually love each other. Like, they say they are. Oh, I love you. What do you love about me? I felt that with, spoiler, Lila and Kel, and Alucard and Rye. Alucard and Rye. Alucard and Rye. Aren't they related? Also, I was not a fan of Rye in the first book. I grew to like him, but he's kind of an idiot. He's a really big idiot in the third one especially. And Alucard, he reminded me so much of Nikolai from the Grisha trilogy. Like, the exact same phrases were used to describe them. Like, oh, I'm a privateer, not a pirate. Or, he's like a man who wears many faces, many costumes, and will never know which one's the right one. And I really liked him. Like, his character arc, not really an arc, just like his presence, just his cool factor was going up, 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 up until love happened. And then he just sort of like stayed in the same place. And he just wanted to kiss people. So his coolness kind of just slipped away. Ask me who my favorite character was. It was Kel. But ask me who my second favorite character was. It was Osaran. He deserved more. He was cool. He just wanted to be loved. That was my wrap up. All in all, it was a very good reading month. Now, let's get into what October will bring to me. If we will observe the handy-dandy, wrong way, handy-dandy chart. Dun, 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 dun. Red Queen. All 4 books. The story of what happens when you have silver bloods and when you have red bloods. Silver bloods rule, red bloods drool. Nerd. But what happens when, in this hierarchy of silver bloods, one meager little red blood over there has the powers of a silver blood? Well, we bring her into the castle, of course, and arrange a marriage. At least, I think that's what happens. Let me consult. Mayor Barrows discovers an ability she didn't know she had, except her blood is red. Dun dun dun! And red is capitalized. To hide this impossibility, the king forces her into the role of a lost silver princess and betroths her to one of his own sons. I'm excited for this. I love this cover. I love all these covers. Just blood and jewelry, all a girl needs. But this says glass sword. Okay, wait, I see the sword now. It's in the crown. So that is that. I am also reading Return of the Key by Ruth Ware. And also Into the Drowning Deep by, I do believe, the same lady who wrote Priory of the Orange Tree. I heard this tale is about ravenous man-eating sirens who come out from the Mariana Trench to devour a team of scientists. Found footage is found of this attack. So what do all these smart scientists do? They send another team of scientists to observe what happened to the first scientist group, and a blood slaughter ensues. So yeah, this book was highly recommended by one of my favorite booktubers, Murphy Napier. She's a big siren fan, but she likes dark ones, not romantic siren stories. So I'm excited to get into this. Oh, I see the word mermaid. Cool. I need to stop doing that. And Turn of the Key, which I am getting into right now. This is a story written through letters. It is from a nanny who is in jail for the murder of the children she was watching, employing a lawyer to be her representative in her trial. And she is swearing by all the swears that she did not kill these children, and this is what happened. I'm telling you right now in this letter. She is living as a stay-in nanny in this smart home with 3 other kids, and a bunch of stuff happens. I don't know yet. I'm only on page like 100. And I don't know about you, but I like my thrillers to not be so descriptive. I want it fast-paced. But we've got to know this smart house thoroughly. Every inch of it. Right down to the peacocks on the ceiling, and the weird how it's Victorian on this side, but hi-fi, sci-fi over there. But finally, it's getting rolling, and it's severely giving me anxiety because I used to be a nanny, and if I was in this situation, my sanity would have cracked in half. I will try vlogging my experience. I'm not a very coherent vlogger. I feel like they're just so segmented, you can tell how many days are apart from each little visit. But I will get into it. I'm going to get into all these books. Keep turning pages. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. I am Casey, and you are the moon of my sun. Until tomorrow, or whenever I post.